Alrighty, y'all, what's going down? I don't know why I did this, but I'm still getting ready. But anyway, it's Hans Nobi. We are going live. I'm going to play some music, get down to business. We're going to talk about these split sheets and what they mean. Enjoy. Actually, I'm going to play something different. Just because I can. Into it. I kind of messed up. I keep telling y'all I'm a novice at this. All right, give me a second. Break this down. Let me minimize this because we don't need that anymore. And bring this down. What's good? What's good? What's good? Again, it's Friday, September 16th here in New York City. It's a lot going on. I missed the live stream. I missed the verses with Fat Joe and Ja Rule. I'm hearing a lot of different things. Hearing a lot of different things. Like some old beef has been rekindled between some people, and some producers are really saying what they really, how they really feel. You know, I think we kind of know that. I think we kind of know that. JD and Diddy have, I won't say they've had beef, but like I think they kind of want to go head to head. I think it's been something that's been in the making for a little while, and we're just sort of just waiting to see what happens, which is cool, man. All right, drink some more water. You guys are going to see this in a replay, but my man TJ had the audacity to explain to me what street code was on my Facebook page. I felt some type of way. I really did. I was like, do you know I used to live in Detroit? But what does that mean, right? It means nothing. But anyway, yeah, let's get into it, man. So I'm going to jump over to my Twitter. and I retweeted something I want to touch base on. So Billboard, you guys know I'm an avid fan of Billboard Business. I think a lot of the content they provide in there is really good as far as studying the business. With I'm careful to say my success, and the reason why I'm careful to say my success is because in my head I haven't accomplished what success looks like in my head yet. But what I will say, the thing that's helped me with my goals tremendously has been studying Billboard. And I'm gonna slow down in today's stream as well, because I watched the last stream and I noticed I kept doing, and I'm not doing that. I'm not a gassy person. But what I wanted to say was, for Billboard Business, I got put on game by an A&R. I'm not gonna name drop, but he's the one that put me on game about what Billboard Business is, and I really appreciated him doing that. And whenever you get a chance, check it out, subscribe. I think it's like $250 a year, but it's worth it because they email you either every day, every other day, with like these different bulletins of what's happening. And the writer's actually pretty good. They do a deep dive to say like what's happening, why it's happening. And for me, my experience is I've been able to take what's happening within the mainstream and be able to implement it into what's happening with like my indie stuff, as far as like what we're trying to accomplish and everything. And that's just been what it is. So I touched base on this before and I want to get into it. But the title reads, Writing Splits on CLB. We're still being finalized. We're still being finalized after its release, but it's not uncommon in the music business. You get a chance, check out the article. But what I'm going to do is sort of just make a condensed version that we're going to dive into. So what are split sheets? So I'm actually going to kind of go into that. And again, I take everything from like I take everything sort of like a pyramid. I'll start with the simple idea, then we go very granular into it. So this may actually take up the whole entire live stream, but let's just look at what some split sheets are, right? So that is not a split sheet. This producer, or let's put artist split sheet, right? Because producers already know what split sheet is, right? So a split sheet is a written agreement that identifies each contributor to a song and establishes ownership percentages amongst them. So basically what it is, man, it's basically just something on paper to say, hey, we are agreeing that you're going to get this portion of the royalty, mechanical royalty, and then this part of the publishing. And what I'm going to do is sort of dive into like what that is, right? So let's look at what a split sheet is. Right, and I showed one on my last live stream. I showed all my information. I didn't mean to, so I'm gonna make this full screen. All right, can I pull this up? No, I just want to see an image. I wonder if there's gonna be one that's. Let's see, can we see a full one? Let's do a better one, because I feel like for everyone that watches the replay on like there we go, on the mobile phones, it needs to be bigger. Okay, so it has very basic information as far as like what a split sheet is. Now the reason why I brought up the whole thing about CLB is that split sheets, so what you're doing here, the reason why this is happening is because I highly doubt that they just finished CLB like 2 weeks ago, or however long it's been out, 3 weeks ago. More than likely, they probably finished it. Honestly, they probably finished it last year, because some of the beats do sound a bit dated, which is totally fine. And that's something you'll learn what that means, as far as what that term means, as far as like something sounds a bit dated. It's certain like little things like in trap, there are like certain hi-hat patterns that were very prevalent in like 2018 and 19, and if you hear it on a song today, you go like, oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. It's like because that record was made a while ago. And that's something I'll probably dive into maybe later on in the year or whatever, about how a lot of the music that you're hearing today was actually created years ago. I think the perfect example of that was Jay Electronica's, I guess, his only album that came out. A lot of those beats, you can clearly hear that that's like 2015, 16, maybe even 2013. but he just held on to it, which is totally fine. But that's something your ear will develop into what that current sound is and what that means. But for CLB, yeah, this is not uncommon. The reason why this is not uncommon is that more than likely what you're looking at is probably a couple things. Is whoever were the artists were and producers that were on there and on the contributors are negotiating, right? So I'm pretty sure Drake has already made his say, hey, we're getting this, that, and the third between his lawyers. But I want to show you what that means and why that's a key thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up Drake, certified lover boy here. All right, let's see Drake, certified lover boy. All right, so look at some of these tracks, right, and then you'll start to see exactly what a split sheet is and why they are. So let's look at the one in the Bible. Yeah, let's take the one in the Bible. So let's just pull this whole thing up. All right. Oh, they have translations. That's pretty dope. So if we go to the contributors, right? So I'm going to pull this up. All right. So as far as writers, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're looking at 8 writers, right? So let's take these 8 writers and then let's go back to our split sheet, right? So composer and writer. So the composer and or writer, there's actually 2 different parts. The reason why this is so general, there's some that go very granular where they list out the writer, then they list out the composer, and I'll tell the difference between the two. So the writer is also going to be like your performer as well, or writer slash composer. Writer slash performer. And so, for instance, for this case, to make it simple, those 8 people will be listed here, right? So you have 8 sections where it says composer and writer. They'll put their address. If they have a label or a company, they'll put that address there. They'll put the phone number. Now, this section here, where it says publishing company, if they have a publishing company, you will put it. Now, the reason why you're going to see these percentages that are different is that there's a difference between you getting your mechanical royalties and your publishing. So let's actually break that down, right? And again, like I said, this is probably gonna take up the whole stream, but I'll try to not like go too much into the weeds, but I do want to give you the just the basics. So let's look at what mechanical royalties, if I can spell. Okay. So mechanical royalties are royalties that are generated each time a musical composition is reproduced, whether physically or digitally via on-demand streaming or download to own services, right? So this also, so there's two, so to make this simple, there's actually 2 ways you would get paid mechanical royalties. And that's with streams, that's with CD sales. So every time that UPC code, so every time that UPC code gets scanned, so someone buys a physical copy, or on iTunes, right? So those would be like your mechanical royalties that you would get. So on this split sheet here for the writer and composer, this is what you're looking at, right? As far as the percentage, the ownership, right here. Oh, hold on, let me make sure I do this. Come on, I wonder if it'll let me open this. Download PDF for. Oh. Maybe I can. There we go. All right. Just skip because it's not that crucial. And you can download this for free if you want. I can put this like link in the description. That's definitely not a problem. In fact, I'll pin it. It's basic template, but here what you're looking at in regards to the mechanical. It's not gonna let me just select, which is fine. Okay, that's cool. It's not that crucial. But like the ownership, like, hey, who owns the lyrics, who owns the music and everything else, you can fill that out here. So that's going to deal with the mechanical royalties that you're seeing here, right? So those splits. Publishing is going to deal more with, like radio, airplay, television, film, and so let me explain what publishing is. All right. And we're gonna do let's look this up. What is music publishing? I hope you get out of here that a lot of stuff you can just Google, but you're here now. All right, so music publishing is publishing the music. Duh, of course. That's okay. They need to change that. Music publishers originally published sheet music, and when copyright became legal, protect. Blah, blah, blah. All right, let's get a better example, or a simpler way of breaking this down. So okay, cool. So they said it play a role in the management of intellectual property. So for every song, it's called. You may have heard the term IP. So that's intellectual property. Pretty simple. So a publishing company like BMG, right? Well, they have a publishing company, don't they? Because I know somebody is trying to sign here. Yes, they are a publishing company. Hope I'm not misspeaking. Yeah, okay, cool. Combines activity with music publisher. Okay, cool. So if you are signed, so let's say you are signed to BMG. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Let's say you are signed to BMG. So what you would do is on the split sheet, you put your, you say you were BMI, ASCAP, or whatever. And then for BMG, third party is entitled to publishing. You put BMG in whatever they would get, right? So that brings in another party. So you already have 8 people, including yourself. And then for publishing, you just brought in another party. Right now, some of those people may be under the same umbrella as far as a publishing company, which kind of dives into, it can kind of get into the politics a little bit. So let's say, for instance, for BMG, and don't quote me on this, I'm just giving an example. I don't think these artists, these creatives are signed to BMG. But let's say, for instance, Simon, Eli, Austin, and Leon were all signed to BMG. I don't know this for sure. Please don't quote me on that. But let's say that they were. If a representative, a lawyer, or someone that's with BMG say, hey, they can go to a company, say, hey, we have these dope producers and songwriters that can contribute to your album. So now they have a representative to get them in front of a Drake, a Lil Durk, or whomever else, like Giviana, or who. I'm speaking of, I gotta make sure to buy tickets for his show tomorrow. Giviana, because he'll be here in New York. And so it's not uncommon for a representative to go to one of these artists or these labels and say, hey, I have these songwriters that are dope that should be on your project. The reason why that's not uncommon is because of the reason why it's not that uncommon is because, like, they're trying to get their artists paid, right? So if they're representing these 4 people, it's not uncommon that you'll see someone who are all part of a publishing house to be part of a project or a record. So just a little insight there. So and then you have others, right? And so that extends this split sheet. So that's 8 people that are trying to negotiate. Keep in mind the powerhouse here is going to be Drake and 40. Of course, Drake's going to take up the bulk. But if like you don't have a very big reputable name, so they, you may get less and less percentage. You're negotiating. Well, hopefully you're not negotiating, but like your manager's negotiating, your lawyer's negotiating. This can get pretty extensive as far as the paperwork that's going to be presented. So that's why it's not uncommon to see where we at, to see that this is still happening. Now, if you're asking a question, well, okay, cool, this is still collecting royalty, because if I go to Hits Daily Double, right, hitsdailydouble.com. So if you don't know what Hits Daily Double is, this is Lucian Grange. I was going to do a live stream about who he is and everything else. I think I may do it later. But yeah, so let's see, right? So recertified. So we're looking at here. So His Daily Double showed you, they can show you streams, so you can see like who's really like killing it, who's not. So here we see that Drake, the activity is projection. Oh, sorry, yeah. So we see projection is 220,000 streams. I don't sound right. Does it sound right? It seems like it'd be a lot more than that. Seems like it'd be a lot. Let me double check that. Hold on. I don't want to misquote myself, but let's see. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me just confirm something because it seemed like it would be a lot more than that. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. So it's gonna show you the streams. I guess I was showing the album sales. So it's gonna show you the streams, right? So I don't know if you guys saw the Billboard chart data, but like Drake has like 10 of like the top. He has 9 of the top 10 out there. I think Bieber and Kid Leroy's records like number 7 or something, but everything else Drake has. And so this is still getting collected, right? 56 million stream, 52, 49, 44, blase, 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 blah. And oh wait, did he take out Bieber? No way. Oh shit, I guess he did. That is something. So yeah, so it looks like Drake has, well, this is streams. This isn't the same as Billboard, but that's not uncommon to see with like a big album like a Drake or Kanye or Beyonce. But anyway, what I want to say is all this is still being collected. Now, the payout, right? So let's say you're assigned to BMI, right? So BMI Payout Schedule. So if you're signed to BMI, they have this for you on the website, but you can see the payout schedule here. Let's see. That's from Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to go by that. Let's see, payout schedule. Spoken word. I'm gonna need to look that up. Oh, here we go. Cool. Bet. So you're supposed to get one every quarter, right? So it's the same as ASCAP, right? But this is the payment dates, right? So let's say, for instance, so the next payment date is tomorrow, right? Now, if you're a lawyer, or management that's representing one of these songwriters, more than likely you're probably gonna have some sort of negotiation where you're gonna get a certain percentage, but that it may change, right? So I'm not sure. No, I'm sorry, payment for first quarter. Sorry. So there we go. Okay, cool. So because we're September, we're in the fourth quarter, right? Hold on, let's see. Music business, fourth quarter, right? Because Jay-Z started this whole thing. What are the quarters? Okay, there we go. The music industry broken down. Give me someone who's reputable. I guess we can look at this. I don't know if that's I don't know who this is, but let's just go with it for right now. So the music industry is broken down into quarters. Okay, so we know that this is so third quarter, right? So July, August, September. So if we look at that, right? So September, that means they won't get paid for the third quarter for 2021 until February. So that gives them plenty of time to negotiate, move stuff around and everything else because the payout isn't there yet. So going back to this tweet, as far as writing splits is still not finalized because it's so it's not uncommon. That's the reason why. Now you as an indie artist, if you're signed up to like TuneCore, DistroKid, 1RPM or whatever, I think there's a 3-month delay. So even if you release it, you and the producer and all the songwriters can still negotiate stuff. So don't feel like you have to get it done now. Because it's the payout's not going to be there for a while because they still have to collect. Because they still have to see the streams and everything else. And then plus only that, sometimes it take a bit longer because from what I've heard, I believe they're now doing a more extensive QC process where they take your streams and it goes to 3 QC process where they're making sure that they're not looking at bots. That's how some people get demonetized because they'll look and see like, hey, that's crazy. You have 40 million streams within 6 weeks, but you only have 500 followers on Twitter and Instagram. Something that right here, right? So, stuff like that gets stuff like happens. But going back to this split sheet, I'm gonna take a quick break. I don't know, it won't show me who's in the chat, but if you're in the chat and you have a question, let me know. If not, it's all good. Give it a second, check. And again, as far as those quarters, I believe I remember I think I remember hearing that, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know who that Mad Studio. I don't know what this organization or person is, but we'll have to look that up. But yeah, so all right. So now you understand like what can cause sort of the delay to get that done. Let's actually dive into how you as an artist would actually fill this out. It's pretty straightforward and everything else. The thing that gets people caught up is the sample thing, right? So the sample thing and the publishing. So if you have a publishing company, you will put something here. If you don't have a publishing company, you would not put. You would put your name here. If you don't have a publishing company, just put your name here, just so you just have it on paper. So at least it's solidified, right? Because you can always go back and make changes to the names, but the percentages are what's going to be most important. Now for the sample, for my producers that follow me, if you're using any third-party samples, and as long as they say they are royalty free, you don't have to worry about this. Now, if you are using a sample, you do want to put the name here and turn it in. Now, whether or not you have that sample cleared or not, that's a different thing. But if you do have the sample cleared or not, usually you get sent like a PDF from the company that you can like attach here. Because keep in mind, you're only keeping this for your records, and it's just a written paper description. Say, hey, this is the percentages that we all agree upon. All right, so now that we have that, there actually is a process. So I've never gotten a sample cleared. I tried to get a sample cleared with Virgin Records. It was what was the name of the record? It was the sound. Let's see, the Sounds of Love Making by the Art of Noise. I'm probably gonna get a tab, which is cool. I'm not tripping. Let's see, the Art of Noise, Moments of Love. This is like one of my favorite records of all time. I'm actually gonna play it here real quick. I hope this isn't a rendition. Whatever. All right. That is. What is this? That is not. See, that's what I'm saying. Renditions. Let's see. Because the minute you hear, you be like, oh yeah, that's it. You be like, oh yeah, I've heard this before. There we go. Make sure it's not coming in too loud. Can I hear that or no? I don't think you can you? You cannot. Give me a second. Why can you not hear that? That is... Oh, because I didn't set it up. Hold on, y'all. It's cool. Give me a second. God dog it. Give me a second. Hold on. It's cool. Here, let me just... y'all can just hear it till I set this up. Hold up. All right, that's enough. All right. So you get what I'm saying, right? You kind of get what I'm... So I sampled that record, and it was for... I was working with a DJ back in Houston named DJ Hollywood, and he was kind of teaching me some things as far as like how to do remixes and whatever else. And I wanted to put on my first beat tape, which is called Socialite. It was for my first beat tape, and I wanted to get a sample clip because I wanted to do good business. Right, and so I reached out to Virgin Records because that's who they were signed to at the time. I think Virgin's underneath Republic. I could be wrong. Let me find that out. Actually, let's see. Virgin Records. Oh, I'm sorry, UMG. Close enough. Universal Public, UMG, whatever. But anyway, so I reached out to them, and it took I think it took maybe 6 months of me just badgering them every week for them to get back to me. They finally get back to me, and they told me to my face, that is not Russ. Russ Millions. Oh, okay, cool. Should put Russ Millions, not Russ, but whatever. But anyway, but they told me that because the sample made up the bulk of the record, that they wanted 80% of my album. Not of the song, of my album. I said, well, because I'm putting this out on SoundCloud for free. But anyway, if I wanted to, I would have had something that was cleared and this, that, and the third. If I wanted to, I just didn't want to give 80%. Which in retrospect, I probably should have done, because the record got the remix got a pretty good response. In fact, I think Hollywood played it in the club one time and got a pretty good response. Yeah, I should have just did that. But anyway, use it as an example. That's something that I could have done. I could have just ran with that and just been done with it, and it would have been worth it. But it's up to you if you want to give up that percentage. You know? But yeah, man. So, don't, when it comes to split sheets, so a lot of stuff is very basic, and you can look up this information on your own. But since you're here on this live stream or you're watching a replay, I want to provide some information to you that you can actually use, right? Again, it's pretty straightforward and everything else. And I would say even do your due diligence to actually look this stuff up yourself so you can understand what it is and why it's important. Because you, as an indie artist, as you're spending more and more money into your craft and into your business, you want to make sure that you're taking all the right precautionary steps to not only protect yourself, but to do great business. Because one day, if you do blow up, you want to go back and fix anything. And if you do have to go fix anything, you'll have paperwork and a paper trail to show hey, we agreed upon this, and the third. Because the last thing you want to tell your lawyer is there's some paperwork. Because just think about this scenario. Just imagine there's no paperwork for a record you bought from a beat you bought from a producer, and he blows up and he wants to come back and now claim 90% of your record because he says he has a bigger brand. That's the only reason why you're even getting streamed is because of the work that he's done. And it's up to, if you don't have any paperwork, he can ask for that. He can even do a cease and desist, because what does it mean to him, or her? But anyway, yeah, man. So what I'm going to do is that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post these sites here, right? These links here, so that way you guys actually have the stuff. You can actually check up on it and take a look and, like I said, do your research, man. This is pretty straightforward. Again, you're a business. We're not doing this whole thing. I'm an artist. I'm a damsel in distress, and I'm waiting for somebody to help me. Those days are over. You have everything that you need right here. And as you saw, it took 30 minutes for me to pull this information. And I read some of this stuff too. I knew a lot of this information, but I just want to make sure that you see how easy it is to pull up this information. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, have any questions or anything, please let me know, man. That's what it is. So tomorrow, a record I produced by Truth, who's an artist, who's from New York, but he's actually going to grad school out in Ohio State. At Ohio State, and we have a record coming out called Won't Stop. It's pretty dope. It sounds like a pretty strong record. The marketing behind it. We've worked on our end, Room 380, so we're gonna do some other stuff for it, but as far as what he has, it's gonna be pretty dope. It's definitely gonna be a record that I think that's gonna carry him into first quarter, and then Monday is one of the big dogs, which is Felita Hicks, a new name for my love, a spoken word album. It's been submitted for a Grammy nomination consideration, and It's dope, man. We got that done, and then we also got Amari Hardwick's spoken word album that was submitted as well. So doing something for the culture. I actually feel good about it, honestly, man, because I just know, just as a creative, just how hard it is to find other creatives who just kind of give a damn. So, but anyway, yeah, man. There's nothing that y'all want to touch base on. I didn't do any replays at all. Which is cool, but. That's it. Take care. Holla at your boy. Like I said, I'll try to get this on Twitch. I just got to set it up. I'm actually going to sit down this weekend and get that done. But that's it. Holla at your boy. One love. Peace.